Hey guys, this is Coach Carr with the Basketball Embassy. Really excited for this session. One of my favorite cities, one of my favorite clubs to get to watch myself and to learn in professional development. And we're with assistant coach of Fenerbahce, Adam Khan. We're really excited and appreciative of you not only joining on but being willing to adapt. I know originally we had this talk scheduled an hour earlier, so hopefully that was able to have gotten to as many people as possible. And Coach, again, I know you took the time out of your day, so I appreciate you being flexible with us. And before I pass it on to Coach, guys, remember there's a question and answer segment on the bottom. If throughout the segment Coach says something that particularly you have a question on, type that in, and we'll try and get to as many as possible at the end of the segment. Coach, thank you again so much for coming on with us. I really appreciate it, and I'll go ahead and get off here and let you get to work. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thanks for the invitation. Today's topic that I would like to talk about attacking the zone. And let me share my screen and start my presentation. Okay, first thing I would like to talk about attacking versus zone is going to be starting with the question of this: why the opponent decide to play zone defense? Now, there are some, let's say, topics that I put going through in my mind, and I'll share with you. First thing is going to be the changing the rhythm. In Europe, lots of teams using zone defense whenever they are not able to handle the opponent's, let's say, tempo, or they are not able to take the control of the game, then they want to change the rhythm, and let's say they say let's go to play a little bit zone defense. And second thing is going to be creating confusion. What I mean with creating confusion is it's like a fashion, especially in EuroLeague this year. Many of the teams, very rarely, but we did also, using out of bounds, base or side out of bounds, and also ATO situations, going to zone defense, and then to create confusion on the opponent team. Another thing is limitate the opponent offense versatility on man-to-man defense, because against man-to-man, many teams has lots of offenses, and some of the teams, basically mid-level or below that, the teams, they say, instead of dealing all the offenses, let's say around against Fenerbahce, having hundreds of set plays, let's go just zone defense. For sure, this is not their priority, so they will play with less offenses and take some risks and play zone defense. And another two titles are going to be, as you all know, to protect the foul trouble players on the court, and also protect the limited defensive players like slow feet big men, to keep them in the paint, don't make them to go out, play conservative, risk some shots, and to play zone defense. So in this concept, what I mean is zone defense also by the team who play, it's like just a small part of their organization, and many of the teams playing with less principles on zone defense. But to be honest, there are teams playing strictly and with strong principles in zone defense. Then that zone defense is going to be really much more sophisticated, and will create more sophistication than man-to-man defense. And in that case, it's you need to pay attention all the details that you have. And bottom line, what I want to say, zone defense will not be the priority of any team, also in Europe, but we need to understand that will hit you bad if you are not prepared on it. What I mean by that? Zone offense, to be prepared, as I try to do that, all the clinics that I talk, try to start this on offense and defense side. Which is important for you? What you play or how you play? So for us, it's really important how you play the game. So to clarify how you play the game is very important to go through the main principles in your game. So for us, attacking any defense is important how you play, but especially over here, I want to give against zone defense some of the titles that we pay attention. First thing, I'm going to start with using spacing over here. What I mean by spacing, first of all, your setup on the court and using high post and low post. And high post and low post, we will watch the examples using the free throw line and short corners and efficiency of this. Because once you are able to deliver the ball to high post or low post, then all the zone defense rotations has to start. And then after, with good spacing, you will find the gaps. And it's very important to attack the gaps on zone defense, against zone defense for us. Second thing, how you play the game is going to be moving with or without ball and having ball movement. I know this is also one of the main thing against man-to-man, but as I said, it's very important how you play the game, because moving with and without ball is crucial, and also ball movement. Ball movement is not just passing the ball from one side to another side, but also the ball handler's aggressiveness, attacking and creating rotation on zone defense and having the kickouts or dish-outs. Next thing I'll talk is going to be ball screen. So as you realize over here, I put the ball screen situation as a third in the title because against zone defense, which is having huge gaps, what we say, huge gaps, you need to have a right space on the court, and then you need to be able to move with and without ball. And then we can talk about ball screens with the right timing and spacing. And next thing we will talk is going to be efficiency of off-screen. And when we talk about efficiency of off-screen, I would like to say, okay, turnouts, flares, we will talk all these details. But also it's very important setting a screen to player in your zone as a offensive player. So to realize that and set a good screen to player in your zone. And last title that I'm going to talk is going to be importance of using compatible plays. What I mean by that is, as we talk on previous page, creating a confusion, changing the rhythm is one of the main target of the opponent team. And especially out of bounds situations or dead balls or ATOs, teams go zone defense and they want the opponent to have confusion. And many times, if you don't have a compatible play, which is not the offense that you can run against zone also, then your team, your players will have confusion. They will question, oh, now it's zone defense, what to play in, etc. So we try to put in our playbook these details also to have compatible play. But whatever we say over here is not going to be effective and will have no contribution if we don't have right timing with good spacing and good execution. And that means how you play this game. So after giving this, let's say, instruction, I'll start with high post, low post action. As you see over here now, many of the titles we have about different type of zone defenses. You see 2-3 zone defense, excuse me. You see 2-3 zone defense over here, 2-1-2 zone defense, 1-2-2, 3-2, 1-3-1. All the zone defense. Now, these shadow areas are the places that we want to attack. So whenever you put your player, you don't need to just pass the ball over there, but if you put your players in the right timing, with the right movement on that point, these ranges, then it's going to create a different options for you. So our target to use high post, low post action, giving one of the big men on free throw line extended, or sometimes even a little bit closer to 3-point line, and then using the short corners as the option for the best spacing. Then after, as you see the examples over here, opponent team may try to set up in a different ways, like putting 5 men on the free throw line on 2-1-2 setting and then have free throw line coverage, but that doesn't matter. As long as you have the right spacing using the high post right way, then you will create the options. And I would like to talk only also 1-3-1 zone defense. Through the end, I'll give you some examples about that as well. As I put over here is very crucial, one of the big men to be on free throw line, but it's very important, another big man to be over here or from there able to go to corners. Then you stretch out the floor, and we want to have 2-1-2 setup against 1-3-1. And I'm going to give you the examples about that. But one more time, coaches, I want to emphasize that for us is important how you play the game. So we want to put our players in the right spacing on high post, low post situations. Now, over here, our opponent is playing 2-3 zone defense, and immediately running to opponent court, we put our 5-man over there on the free throw line. What we want actually, our 4-man to run down all the way to short corner is a little bit late, okay, and to have the possibility to ask for the ball. And second thing, over here, once you give that pass, we want our big man to face up and then make the decision. Over here, just straight a quick decision, which is not bad because that player is not in his position. So player gets the ball, and now the moment starts. We want always 4-man to follow the ball and 5-man on the free throw line. The time 4-man follow the ball, that immediately watch the reaction of that player, and you have player on free throw line. Now we can talk about the coverage of the opponent. Let's say it depends. Like if the opponent has 2-3 zone setup, then we want this player to take care of that or that player. Depends whoever trying to defend him. So in this case, as you see 4-man running to ball side, this is fake action because we want to swing the ball back, and immediately 4-man again is going to go to ball side. Watch the player on the short corner over here. Okay, I say watch this because next examples we will see how we find this player also who is following the ball. Now, please pay attention. This is why we say how you play the game, because this high post player is very crucial. This is the action. That little nail action is taking the guard behind him. Okay, this is intentionally we want this ball movement either from here. I'm going to go back to beginning. Either from straight here and pass back, or here and pass back. Because we shift the defense right now, and either this player take care of him or he jumps and that player goes. But watch over here now, right now that player just nailing over there, that creates a clean situation for guard to shoot the ball. So player on high post position himself as a screen. Now I'm going to show you how we use the low post over here. This is one of the offense that we use, but again, we can put thousands of offenses, but finally we want to use high post, low post to create option for our other players. So right now, 4-man receiving the ball on top, and you see that 2-3 setup over there, and same time 5-man sealing his own man. And immediately push-off principles, they just go back to their range. But continuation, the time he take the ball, we want 4-man to move, to have this lay, and then player coming for handoff. So from here, low post, even in the paint, player goes for handoff action. And the reaction of the team, next player to jump, and you have extra player immediately creates 2-on-1. Okay, that's a shot over there, but better position player. Another example I want to give is, if you remember 2 examples before, I gave you the position talking about the big man over here. Right now, our 4-man over there, 5-man on free throw line, and we have 1-3-1 setup. But this player more on the ball side. He starts ball side. So this is setup. You either pass, or whenever you have the high post player to catch. And right after that, what we want, the time he catch the ball, player run to corner, and 4-man actually, more than running over here, we want our 4-man to take the player over here, kind of a duck in and get position. But because this player has poor position, he lost the connection with the player he defend, so it's clear backdoor option. But most important thing for us to have 4-man on the passing side, on strong side, and free throw line player to be ready to catch and face up to see the court. And as you see, the time he received the ball, he's gonna sprint up the corner. So next example, I'm gonna go again using the high post and low post situation. Now, if you have a player like Nicola Melli, such a smart player, he's positioning himself. Again, I'm going back to the first example that I showed about nailing the player on the free throw line. Now, Nicola Melli is doing the same thing. The time we move the ball, right now, Nikola Kalinic is the foreman, and he's coming to the ball side. The action he does is over here, immediately making this player to take care of him and second player to take care of him. Over here, the opponent coverage is more of this player, and as you see, he's stepping up. But the time he locked this player, immediately he turns and sprint to ball side corner. Going back to two examples before, foreman with the pass, follow the ball, so low post, and you have 5 men over here. Swing, swing, and you keep following the position. So keep the ball movement just because these are all preparation action. As you see over here, this player try to take care of and see the foreman, and with the quick ball movement over here now, their foreman has to step out and overload over here. As you see, this player right now has to drop to take that player, so you have player over there. Immediately we created the confusion because he tried to recover and make him to push him off the corner, but already that player is out of the picture. So swing, swing. That's clear option for this player right now, swing, swing, and close out. But we are still patient and keep playing. And the only thing that I'm going to show again, the time this player make the move over here, we want that player to stay over there on the ball line. Okay, so it's immediately 3-on-2 situation. And then after, just sharing the ball. So high-low action. I want to show another example. As you see, 4 men over here now, and 4 men going to ball side corner, and same time 5 men coming to free throw line. And again, he's doing the same thing. He's using himself as a screener, as you see over here, taking the player for the pick. He missed the player, and the angle has changed. 4 men coming through the ball side, and 5 men immediately taking the next player on the free throw line, occupying that player, asking for the ball. And the time he received the ball, immediately we created what we want. So player, 5 men take one of the guard. Now they have to match up. So the key is how you play the game. So high-low action, he tried to take the first player. Not possible because he attacked. And immediately he took the second player who is responsible on him. We knew that our opponent tried to take care of this line with their guards. So we say our big men stay on high post and free throw line, around free throw line, and try to take one of these players to occupy them. And then the time he take the ball, we have immediately the position that we want. One of the big men right now, 5 men and 4 men over there. So we want we catch what we want over here, the player with a bigger body and attack against him. And to be honest, for us, this is another thing, and next examples I'm going to talk about that, moving without ball. You see player catch him and attack. Whatever the defense is, it's important your players are able to move without ball or not. So the time the penetration starts, his player jump, he see the moment that his player jumps and he start moving. So that player is out of picture. Shot or also close out attack, which is a good open shot. Now, I want to give you another example that we used having zone offense with 5 guards. So as you see over here, we have 5 guards, and we want to use the free throw line player to take and dish the ball out. Actually, this is again wrong action because we want him to face up immediately and then look for the option. But over here, taking the ball and one fake and moving back is going to create. And watch this, because we work on this. Also, you'll see further on, same thing with big men, passing the ball and immediately hitting. Or sometimes like a DHO, he just dribbled the ball, flipped the ball, and then immediately set the screen. And that creates confusion because we have 5 guards on the court and their 5 man has tendency not to go out. Another example that I want to show about high post, low post is swinging the ball 4 men. And as you see over there, free throw line, high post player taking the ball, swing, and immediately 3-on-1 situation over there. So right now, 4 men is on high post and 5 men down below. And more important, if you realize that in the beginning, the overload situation. So pass swinging to 4 men and same time guard having overload. The time this player catch the ball now, he has trouble because we have 1 overload over there. The time he make the overload and this player shift, immediately catch and creating position again, what we want, our big man with guard around free throw line, who is an excellent decision maker as a passer. So again, create confusion because of the ball movement. This player, push-off principles, over there now, he's defending no one. He's defending no one. This player, 1 eye on him, and this player, 1 eye over there, his responsibility to push off, but already create position. So importance of high post, the high post player catch the ball and face up and see the court. The time high post player catch the ball, you need to have another player on low post to create position. Same offense, I'm going to show you the same offense over here right now. Instead of swing, swing, now skip pass and again overload over there. Now ball on low post and watch this. The time he received the ball, 5 men, so high-low action, high post, low post, ball on low post. Now 4 man who's on high post is just slashing inside. And immediately these 2 players have confusion. And he run and seal. Now you will see obvious situation is able to pass over there to finish. This is decision mistake. But over here, we already got what we want. Player sliding down and having seal over here. This is easy. Bounce pass over there. Finally, continuation, being aggressive, and many teams jumping from the top, you attack and kick the ball out for another shot option. Now, over here, about zone offenses, I want to give, if you remember in the beginning, I talked about 1-3-1 zone defense, and it's very crucial to have the right spacing against that. So this is why right now, the opponent team having 1-3-1 setup. And on 1-3-1 setup, again, free throw line play is very crucial. And we put our 4 men, instead of being over there, to over here. So finally, as you see over here, 2-1-2 setup against 1-3-1. And it's almost always works. And as I said, before having ball screen actions, thousands of movements, having the right spacing on the court, with right spacing and players know where to stay and what to do, then you have clear options. And then after you just play basketball. As you see 2-1-2 setup, he is taking this player and immediately they have problem because of the attack and pass, and we work on that. You will see next examples also. You attack over there because anyhow, everybody teach on 1-3-1 this player to stay on this level until this player release. So because this player responsibility to, in general, to stay level of the ball, so he has to shift with the ball movement. That means anytime you have corner options with quick ball movement, you will always have one of the corner player open. You'll see on the next example as well. But in order to do that, you need to use high post in the right way. And almost always we tell this player to have body and to have contact with this player. Then this player to be aggressive and then make the decision either here or there. Finally, immediately 2-on-1 as you see, because as we said, many of the teams on 1-3-1 principle the back player, and in general, they put one of the guards, either 1 or 2, to follow the ball because they trust on their quickness and agility. So this is why they put 5 men, 4 men on either side and 3 men. So 2 and 1 or 1 and 2 on the back line. So swing, fake, swing the ball back. Nothing to do for this player because as we said, this player responsibility to shift with the ball movement. So pass, you have another closeout and open shot. But also, if you have shooter like Dixon, it's enough. Another example now, very similar with the previous one. So opponent team, again, same thing. One of the guard on the last line, 5 men over here, 4 men and 3 men. And they play 1-3-1. And they want to keep the ball isolated on one side, like pushing the ball to left of that player. This is why that player, the backline player, is level of the ball. Ball movement. Immediately 2-on-1 situation. So we have player, corner, and corner against 1-3-1. So high post, attack, kick the ball out, swing, and corner player wide open. That's only because, again, 1-3-1, responsibility of this player, stay on the lane of the ball. So without question, without hesitation, without communication, in general, these players shift over there and try to find the matchup. This is why I just said the same thing beginning. If you play a zone defense with really, if you are really focused, having all the principles on zone defense, it's very difficult to attack also, but you need to really work on that and create a sophisticated level, and eventually almost none of the teams are doing that. So as an offensive team, you need to be patient, but before that, you need to understand that you are on the right space and you are ready to attack all the gaps on the court. Now, the next step after talking all this is going to be ball screen action. I draw over here some of the actions that you will see as offenses, and I try to name the set plays, let's say setup, like top ball screen, side pick and roll, 4-corner setup, and outside ball screen situation. More important than that, I mean, final frame is the more important than the previous actions, and this is why I just named all these actions. Then after, I want to show you to have the importance of the ball screen spacing after you have the right positions on the court. So if we go back to the first examples, having 4 men on the short corner and 5 men on the free throw line, and you have 1-3-1 setup against 2-3 zone. So ball movement and what we want from our big man, immediately, whoever trying to defend you to occupy that player. As you see, quick ball movement, you have the same situation like in the first example, to shoot the ball. But again, you nail that player, but if he tried to beat you up over there to take that player, you let him to do that. You let him to do that. Then after, either you are off screener, like the time, I'm gonna go back, and this is the important timing what we talk. Imagine this player drop over here early, okay? And instead of going all the way to that player, he risks and just stays over there. Then your responsibility to have flare screen for this player, and this is a shot option, okay? So another thing, what we talk, this player follow the ball. Watch the difference now. So ball over here, 4 men over there. So 5 men drop down until the 4 man recovers. So because the time he swing the ball, 4 men moving towards the ball, this player has to chase him, and immediately you have even skip pass over there. So very important to have right spacing on the court and to use high post and low post in a correct position. So the time ball moved, 4 men move over there, and that immediately creates plus player on weak side. If nothing, again, you have ball screen, and the time you have ball screen, now this player on the move, try to recover that player, so there is no one to take care of except this 5 men, and the time guard accelerate, and again, smart move, but by our 4 men, because we want him to seal to open the room for that player. So again, this high post, low post spacing, so 4 men on short corner, 5 men on free throw line, and you play the same action with ball screen. I'm gonna go back to same setup, 1-3-1 setup, very simple, very easy, but the timing is really crucial for us. So the time you pass the ball, 4 men, you go to both sides. Watch that player. Now, he has to take care of this player, and the next player is dropping down over there. If you realize this defense is more of a 1-2-2 zone defense, but same concept. It doesn't matter what kind of defense is over there. You just set up in the right way with the right spacing on the court. So you have 5 men over here, 4 men following the ball. The time you swing the ball, 4 men come to short corner and actually ask for the ball, and that occupies that player, and kind of a confusion these two players, because he's staying in between, not sealing or posting up that player. He's trying to stay in between, because the time he stays in between, that player and this player has to take care of the same player. And then top player dropping down, it depends how the opponent team reacts, but top player dropping down over there right now. And what we want from our player with the ball movement, exactly. If you don't have a chance, immediately come and set ball screen. Watch the action of this player now. It's very crucial. One more time. The time he play ball screen, again, 4 men following the ball. Okay? Another example. 1-3-1 setup. So swinging the ball over there. This player is late. Right now he has to be in between. He's late. But anyhow, even though he is late, as you see, the 4-man run immediately takes Shengelia with him over there. And one more time, this team, instead of being in 1-2-2 position, they are more of a 3-2 zone position, that they are putting their bigger body on top and try to shift depending on the position. But it doesn't matter. You have the same setup, whatever the defense is. 1-3-1 setup, passing the ball, going to ball side elbow, and then 4-man cutting through the ball. And as you see, you need also smart players to read the situation, read and react. The time that this player dropped down all the way, you swing the ball, and he has screened to a player in his zone. The time he made the screen to a player in his zone, that immediately involves the next player to step up, because you have a shooter over there. And the time you take that gap and attack, basketball starts. And the topic that we talk was, another headline was, if you remember, moving with and without ball. Ball movement is not just passing the ball one side to another. Ball movement also moving the ball by dribble over there. You dribble the ball and make the team collapse, 4 players to take care of you and kick the ball out. And just because 4 men sliding with the pass, which is not a great timing actually, because the time the ball is flying, he needs to run over there to take the position, and he needs to position himself in between, because the time he takes himself in between, him has to take care both in the same way. If he goes and seal him, then everybody will have the matchup. So we want to create confusion between these 2 players. Swing, pick, close out, kick it out. Now, I'm going to talk about outside ball screens. And on outside ball screens, sorry, by the way, I have only 12 minutes more. I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. So zone defense, another title that important for us is outside ball screen, because zone defense, many teams try to cover like drop defense or like next player to jump and go back, or next player all the way jump and make the switch. Okay, and over here, players like drop situation, outside ball screen is almost always creates this 2-on-1 situation on weak side. So drop, you will see next examples also. This player after the screen, roll, stop, and you will kick the ball out. So outside ball screen is very important for us as top ball screen. But the main idea, you'll see another offense, different offense that basically we use for man-to-man. But again, as long as you have comparable players that you target as a certain area on the court, then you are able to play. And if your players digest the idea to keep playing with the right spacing and timing, then you will always have the options. Over here right now, one of the offense that we run, our 4-man filling up the spot, and we have outside ball screen over here. And the problem over there, the fakes that we use, player fake like he's gonna screen, So that player try to fight through, and next player try to take care of the next side of the zone. Because this player is cutting, as you see over here. Ericsson, he sees Leo going down, so he positioned himself over that. But at the same time, outside ball screen is coming, and four-man filling the spot. The time he filled the spot, as you see previous section, 5-man immediately send them to his region. So that means this lane is open for you to attack and kick it out, and then you start playing basketball. Penetration, stop outside pass, penetration, moving without ball. So move with ball, be aggressive into paint, kick it out, and again, screen to a player in your zone over there and kick it out. Now, I want to show another example about outside ball screen against 1-3-1 zone defense. Over here, I believe 2 seasons before, Barcelona team was using 1-3-1 against us, and one of the offense that we use again with outside ball screen. So the time you use outside ball screen is very important on zone defense. This is a little bit different than man-to-man, because man-to-man, you try to hit the screen, try to set the screen to the ball handler defender. Over here, we pay attention a lot to set a screen, the player in the zone. That's going to be the crucial difference, let's say, between the zone and man ball screen wise. So as you see now, he's setting the screen to the outside ball screen to the next player on the zone. Instead of, as you see, Toma Örtel tried to take care of him. So he just shift over there. So we want to set screen to this zone, to that player on that zone. Anyhow, because of his decisive and we have corner setups, it creates 2-on-1 situation and close out. Another example of outside ball screen. Over here, this is, I know this year a little bit, not fashion, but lots of teams used in NBA also, this decoy action. By the same time you play ball screen, involve these 2 players and watch the rolling and next player. Now, we use this also against switching defense as well, but also against zone defense to have shooter coming off the screen the time we play outside ball screen. But the important point for us, the offense starts right now. As you see guard shooter over here, he starts cutting underneath. The time he goes underneath, he takes that player and he makes this player to believe that he's cutting opposite side. So we take that player all the way underneath and behind that player. So he right now don't know our shooter is over there. As you see, he has no idea that our shooter is already over there. Also, he has no idea. Now, he didn't realize, he doesn't know. We play outside ball screen, but by the same time, Nikola Kalinic set the screen in his zone, and that means eventually to set the screen to your own man, whoever defending you on zone against zone defense. So that screen eliminated the shot option for that play. We sometimes use this as a quick hitter, but also we teach our player to play as a set play and to create options through this. Now, about ball screen, the last title that I want to talk is side pick and roll, which is very simple 4-corner setup as all the teams play, but it's important for us to use this action when we realize that the opponent team, whoever playing like a drop and keep the 5-man all the way into paint and then try to recover with the next player. So this is like a man-to-man drop defense, because in our mentality also zone defense, after playing a good ball screen action with a good space, goes to man-to-man defense, has to be. Either switching after that or like over here, drop and jump, but that has to go to man-to-man, otherwise it's going to be very open for all other options. So right now, we have 4 corners set up, player over there and 5-man setting screen. Side pick and roll, they drop the 5-man all the way down. So setting the screen ball handler is decisive. He wait all the way inside and jump coming from there. And corner, you have shooter. This is what I mean, with all my respect, but very bad example of zone defense, because many of the teams doesn't even know what their principle is. So they play zone just to stay in their zone. So if you have an opponent like this, having a solid screen and decisive guard, then you will have, because they all have problem now. This player thinks he will stay in the paint. This player thinks he needs to jump, and that player just leaves the play. And this player is just dropping without watching his own man. Another example of side pick and roll. As you see, in any situation, we want free throw line extended player, which is very vacate area right now, even to pass the ball. But okay, we play side pick and roll. And again, drop all the way, jump from the next player. Aggressive, kick it out, and 45 player. Next examples you will see, we have continuation also. This player catch and attack and then find the options, because with this catch and attack, you are really drilling the zone, because this player all the way inside and those players will drop down. That creates with the dive of the player. So imagine now, pass and attack, this player step up and 5-man rolling down. Immediately takes this player and you will have outside player open. But right now, just to see with good spacing, because for us is so important, but so important, this player to be all the way corner over here instead of being there. If the time he catch the ball, number 35, Bobby Dixon, was still over there, this was easy for this defender to defend both players. So this is why it's very crucial for us, that player, as you see, going all the way corner. Now, another thing is going to be ball screen, swinging the ball, and what I said, catch and attack. So player catch and attack, and then you have option to also have outside pass. So this is one of the things that we use, but as you see, very simple, but we pay attention a lot about the timing of catch and attack. So we teach our players to have 4-corner setup, and then immediately catch and attack, because many of the teams are just stunned and go back because they want this player to recover, which is practically impossible. So we say catch and attack, and exactly what I showed previous example, because the time he attacked, 5-man has to take care, next player drop inside, and then this player is lost, and you have outside pass. Another example about this, I will talk about the ball movement, because one more time, 5-man all the way inside, and they jump with the next player. So ball movement, one more time, coaches, we pay attention a lot on this, setting a screen, player on 45, and next player all the way in corner. This is a huge difference than this player being over here. If your player is over there, then it's very possible this player jump and then go back to that player. But as you see, you already create problem having this player all the way corner, because the time he jump on the passing lane, next player has to take care of shooter. So immediately the time he take care of shooter, this player rolling down, rotation from the next one. So swing, and you have shot and close out and everything. So again, end of the day, whatever you play, you need to pay attention, the right spacing with right timing and ball movement. So very simple 4-corner setup, 1-3-1 setup, but end of the day, with right spacing, we attack. Over here, I believe I have 1 more minute. I will keep it very quick. I'll just steal a few minutes more. I want to talk efficiency of off screens. And talking about efficiency of off screens, I'm going to jump straight turnout flares, screening the defender in your zone on the examples I'll show, and moving with or without ball, and filling the spots, especially 45 and corners. I don't know if I will have time about that, but one of the offense that we use and gets lots of things is X screens of the guards and nail action. Now I wanna go really quick. So off screens over there, I'm gonna give you the examples about through the video. So over here, what is very important for us? You see the guard is coming through, pass, handoff, Now 2-3 zone, same time your 3-man cut through, you have after the handoff, your guard is flaring. But the time he flare, we want our 4-man to set that screen. And that screen is not just to make that player available, because the time this player cut, also as you see over here, he lose the contact for a second with this player because he wants to take care of him. And more than having that player, depending on the reaction of this guard, we want to hit this 4-man. And after you hit this 4-man, again, you have all the options available for you. Why I say that? Because the time after this, if he's following through, then this player is available. And over here, we want our 5-man either nail that player or take this player behind him and then look for the options. And another fundamental of this, using the fakes. Watch Jan Vesely. His excellent move, the time he catch, he face up. Now he makes 1-2 fake. So he takes both players to take care of him. And then we keep cutting for corner shot. And next thing, this corner shot is okay, but watch the player. This is mistake of that player because we want that player immediately run over here for second shot option, because many times the player catch, he runs like crazy, he drops and loses contact with his man. So you need to move without ball for the extra shot situation. Now, another example of off screens, same action, pick, handoff, flare, and same time, you overload your guard over there and watch the 5-man. 5-man is just watching who is going to take care of him. And the time you set that screen, and again, you are reading now, they try to make switch with these two players and they are even hesitant. So switch, no switch, this player screen and slip, and immediately he has outside option because he see that that player is taking care of him. And then after closeout attack, and again, closeout attack. Another example, same offense setup. Over here right now, player handoff and flare action. Flare action is coming, but this is one of the options that we use. Some of the teams use, especially coach Aitor Enes'e use a lot, screening this player and then cut off alley. This one is a little bit different setup, but again, same thing. You go for flare action, and the time this player cut, this is also an option for player to play. Then after, you play basketball, moving the ball. And last example that I'm going to show about this is going to be one more time small ball lineup. So we have small players, Nikola Kalinic basically 3-4, Gigi Datome another 3-4 position, but we use them like 4 and 5. So same thing, handoff. This player set the screen. Now he is available. This is not a problem for us. So you can pass to 3-man, plus you have shooter over there. Watch the screen action. So screen and slip, because many times player of this zone, after he gets screened, he thinks that he's going to stay in this zone. The player who set screen to him is going to stay in that zone. So the time you make this move, this player is focused on that. And after that flare slip, you have player over there. And because you have another shooter big man, he pop out an open shot option. And I'm going to talk about this and finish. I had another title, but I think I won't be able to make it. So over here, X screens and nail, what we mean. Point guard over there on stationary zone defenses, you move 2 of your guards to set screen inside screen. So they make X move and screen to these 2 guys. And the time this player attack, as you see, one of your big men is going to take care of the center player. Then after you attack over there, and this player either high pass or like over here, very open, you will have the shot. But we teach all our players after setting that screen, immediately pop out there, because again, the fundamental of the players defensively, after that screen, they think their player will stay in that zone. So this is why after they got screened, they just stay there. So you need to pop out immediately, pop out immediately. You'll see on next examples. Another example over there, again, players exchange and set screen to 2 players, and then 5 men try to take care of him. And what we said, this player tried to take care of that player. But more important, what we told on the previous example. After the screen, you run over there because as you see, he got screened and he thinks that this player is just going to stay there. So he tried to stay in that zone. You pop out over there, you will have options to see the court and move the ball. And we go back to the same point, our 4 men following the ball, if that's Jan Veseli, and moving the ball. Then after you play basketball. One more time, swinging the ball, swing back, and it's very important and crucial, I forgot to tell, sorry. Before you start this action, you need to move the ball back and forth to make the team defense shift and prepare themselves on their zone. And you make them to feel comfortable that they are in the right zone, okay? As you see. Now, this player going for pick and next player X-cut and setting screen. One more time, immediately pop out. Watch what that creates. Screen, that must be a better screen, but because they are poor timing, he was on the move. He was on the move. If he tried to set a stronger screen, it's going to be offensive foul. So this is bad timing from that player. But okay, he immediately pop out and he took that player with him and watch this player now. Watch this player. He is sealing his man over there. He attack, kick it out. Now immediately mismatch and this is what we say. Set the screen to a player in your zone. So in this zone, you either set that screen as a 5-man or it's very important. If he stays behind you, just nail him. The time he turns, you will have position. But if this guard wants to front you, let him front. We always teach our players, let him front. Let him front and you be the screener right now. And you jump and make the pass. Believe me, we work with our big men all year, this movement. One player on low post, second one, position himself, jump and pass to coach, and then space on the court. So all the actions we did, we have purpose, and we work on that. Another example of that. Watch, now the defense is different. As I talked in the beginning, it doesn't really matter what kind of defense is over there. As long as your players knows how to play the offenses, then there is no problem. Whoever over there on that region will take. The only, not only, but the biggest difference on against zone and man-to-man, the same play you play, you need to consider as a player who you're gonna set the screen in the zone. Instead of man-to-man, who you set the ball screen to the player of the ball handler defender. You need to go and set the screen there. Zone, on zone offense, you need to be more, let's say, consider who you're gonna set screen in that zone. And again, over here now, player set the screen of the 1 to 2, back of the 2. And then 4-man pop out to shoot. And the last example that I'm gonna give is about the reaction of your guards. Watch what we said. You need to prepare them, the defense, to feel comfortable that they matched up and they stayed in their zone. Now 1 to 2 zone again. Watch your big man. Over here now, he's sealing, he's setting screen to his own man. And now, because the reaction of this guard, they set screen to each other, okay? They try to switch everything, an excellent read from our guard to set screen to this player and pop out. Immediately open shot. Miss is another thing. Okay, last thing I'll talk is going to be some examples being about comparable. Now we play our man-to-man offenses against zone setup, base out of bounds right now. It's important, watch now, to screen the player on the zone. As you see this player going down, setting screen, and the time he tried to release, we always teach our players, let him go. Because the time you let him go in zone, you will most probably be open. There is huge mistake over here, turnover, but that was the purpose over there, wide open. This is why I wanted to show. Sometimes bad examples turns to a good example. Over here, similar action like pick to picker. And again on pick to picker, the time you have this screen action, one pass fake and field the slip player. This is our man-to-man defense, man-to-man offense, but we use against zone as well. Now it's very important that we see, and we call it a special call because players set screen and coming, watch, especially if one of the big men on the guard as an inbounder. We make this trick like pass and immediately go over there to corner for the shot. Okay, and last example that I'm gonna give is side out of bounds. This is one of the man-to-man offense that we use. I believe this is also Boston Celtics, Coach Brad Stevens used a lot. The zipper action. So players set the screen and same time in man-to-man, players set the screen to next and you have skip pass to big man and then same time 5-man set screen for that player to shoot. But again, against zone, your offenses has to be comparable. So when you put this player through the end of the shot clock, it doesn't matter if the defensive team immediately jump to a zone defense. You keep playing. The importance is that player has to know now he has to set a screen to a player in his zone. And that player has to know he has to set a screen to a player in his zone. So it's important he set that screen. It's important he set that screen to his zone. So again, end of the day, it's important how you play more than what you play. Thank you very much for listening me. If you have any questions, I'm ready to listen. I don't know if I passed the line. Sorry for the time, but.
Oh, Coach, it was that was awesome. A couple of questions on here. When you're talking about your zone concepts, is it mostly where you're having your guys read based off of what the defense is calling, or are these organized sets that you guys are calling out early?
It's almost always organized sets, but if we realize our opponent is preparing themselves or they have a tendency to play like out of bounds situations, going to zone defense side or base out of bounds, then we prepare our, let's say, comparable plays that in any situation we can play. The only importance that once your players realize, they know what kind of execution they will have. Same offense setup, same actions, but they need to realize that if this is zone, I need to set a screen to a player in my zone. I need to read where to go, and I need to read what kind of position I will take on free throw line to create position for another player. Other than that, all the movements are same, but we teach our player to realize and react in the right way in the same offense.
Gotcha, great. And then what are your offensive rebounding concepts against, how many guys are you sending against the zone defense?
I had the same question before. I would say more than that, for us is important who is running back. So we take care of that. We say it depends on our opponent. Sometimes we say, hey, we want 3 back. Okay, we never say the player don't go to offensive rebound, but we say obviously who is closer to the backcourt, closer to going to back, he will sprint back immediately, and we make that in our practices. For example, in our 5-on-0, the time the shot is taken, the player who is closer to 3-point line immediately sprints back, even on 5-on-0. At least one player sprint back, and then depending on the opponent, sometimes we say we need 3 back guys. But other than that, we never say don't go to offensive rebound. They know the concept actually.
And then what about you? You talked about having your man and zone schemes be comparable, and some. Do you have a couple that plays that work for both? That they're disguising their defense really well. That you have plays you're comfortable running against.
Yeah, I just showed actually the last out of bounds that I showed. Actually, the offenses that we can use also against zone. As I showed you over there was zone defenses, but they are basically man-to-man offenses that we use. Also, set plays that I showed over there about off-screen situations, flares, was really offenses that we use against man-to-man. But it's important to read and react. Once you realize that zone, you need to be a screen and slipper, for example, because we know that the responsibility on that zone, as I said, many of the guards, especially, many of the guards, after they got screened in zone, they think, okay, they got screened, but the screener will stay in that zone. So we say, don't stay in that zone, set screen, and ask for the ball. Be a scoring option.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Coach. I really
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time. That
Thank
was
you.
really great. I know I stole about
Thank
8
you.
plays myself. So,
Okay.
yeah, thanks, Coach, so much. I appreciate it, and hope you have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.